good lives in me that is in my sinful nature. For I have the desire to do what is good, but I cannot carry it out. Come on, declare it again. I know that nothing One more time, would you please? I know that nothing good lives in me that is in my sinful nature. For I have the desire to do what is good, but I cannot carry it out. You may be seated in the presence of the Lord. I want to preach for a little while this morning using as a subject, I can't change it. I cannot change it. Ladies and gentlemen, every year, Americans spend $3 billion on self-help books because they desire to change some aspect of their character, their health, their personality, their relationship, or their physique. It's amazing, however, how many in pursuit of self-improvement never think to consult Scripture. The Bible has more substance than who moved my cheese, more wealth than the millionaire next door, more antiperspirant than don't sweat the small stuff. The Bible isn't just tracking the history of the children of Israel. It's not just about miracles, and it is not even just about the soon returning Messiah. The subplot of Scripture emanates around personal change. Everybody, either knowingly or subconsciously, has at least one thing they want to change about themselves. And for every area, there is a biblical example. Some people hate the fact that they can't stop eating what's not good for them. And for that, you don't even have to go further than Genesis chapter 3. God told Adam, don't eat of the forbidden fruit. And ladies and gentlemen, recently, psychologists released the fact that changing your eating habits is harder than coming off heroin. Because even with heroin, you can stay away from a needle, but you always have to put something in your mouth. Samson had a similar problem because God gave a decree and an edict to his parents and never even really told him directly, don't cut your hair. I like it the way that it is. And all the more, here it is, you are not growing it for people. Your hair is in the condition it is, and here's a revelation, because you're wearing it for me. Many people don't even realize that the part of you that you abhor was not even designed for your delight. It was designed because when God looks at it, it excites him as he marvels at his own creation. More than changing appetite, appearance, or income, the Apostle Paul uncovers the root of change is dealing with a fractured spirit. External struggles pale in comparison to internal strife. If your spirit is healthy, your personality will be pleasant, your body will be able to recover, and your finances will rebound. But it really doesn't matter how dressed up you are and how much weight you lose if your spirit is contaminated. There's been a recent move afoot that now, before you can take overhaul plastic surgery, you have to have 2 sessions of psychotherapy. Because before they can operate on your body, they need to make sure your spirit is intact. Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't hear anything else that I say to you this morning, what it is that I believe God is ushering us into is change your spirit. Your spirit is that which needs to be fixed. Susan Orman, Napoleon Hill, Spencer Johnson, Robert Kiyosaki, in all their writings never give Paul's revelation ascribed to Romans in Romans 7:18. For I know in my flesh dwelleth no good thing, but even when I want to try to do well, I can't do it. Here it is, because I don't have what it takes to change it. What an incredible admission. To know that there is an area that I do not have the power to change. And I'm here this morning at 7:30 hour because Paul is in good company. Because there is a great number in this room who has discovered that there is an area that you are powerless to change. A defect, a deficiency, a disorder. And please don't get it twisted this morning. I am not talking about a headache. I'm not talking about a hang-up. I'm talking about something deeper that you have tried to fix, you have tried to address, you've tried to adjust, and you have now come to the bright conclusion, I can't change this. I know many of you are not going to give your neighbor high fives. This is not a sermon where you're going to spin around 3 times, but this is one where the bullet is faced at your forehead, and you got to ask yourself, what am I going to do if this doesn't change? I need to change. Here it is, ladies and gentlemen. And here's what I've been taking a month for me to get to you to this point is, Lord, you're going to have to tell me, how do I deal with what I can't change? We can shout about the possibility and the potential of change, but there are not too many of you who are willing to take the bitter pill on the areas of your life that are beyond your expertise, beyond the realm of your intelligence, beyond your management, beyond your control. What about, Pastor, what I cannot change? Because I hope you can hear my voice this morning, where it is that you are on the other side of midlife, right on the edge, on the fall of your existence. Dealing with the sundown and not the sunrise of who it is that you are. You're coming to the very edge of the dash in between your birth date and your funeral date. And here are some critical questions that we don't want to deal with in church, but it is my responsibility as the shepherd over your soul to ask you, what happens when I can't change my upbringing? What happens, Pastor, because I am frustrated, I'm flustered, and I'm downright confused because I've expended so much energy